Welcome to Blue Suede News Easter Special. We'll be reviewing the good, the bad, and the utterly stupid from the last 7 days. In a change to the normal proceedings, this is a pre-recorded show. We're recorded in one take, just like our normal live show. We would like it, if you're watching, to please say hello, because I'll be watching at the same time, and I'll be reading your comments and responding to them. So say hello, comment along with the show, and enjoy yourselves. As this is an Easter special, I've got some special guests to introduce. I've decided to introduce them in alphabetical order. So first of all, we have Millie Evans, we have Rob Lane, and we have Tony. Good evening to you all.
Evening, sir. Good evening.
So
Millie's legged it.
He's legged it. While waiting for Millie to rejoin us, I'm going to ask each of you to introduce yourselves. So I was going to say I've introduced you in alphabetical order, and believe it or not, I realised when I was writing the script, the alphabetical order works the same on first names as it does on surnames, which is all a bit bizarre because I thought, should I do it on first names or surnames? And it works the same whichever one you choose. So.
But if you're my mum, you'd call me Anthony.
Ah, that would really mess it up. That's why I'm not your mum.
When it came to the queue for the vaccines, I were Anthony.
Oh, I see.
Got it figured
get in
out.
there early. Yeah.
and if Anthony's mum's watching, a big hello from me. So I know she shouldn't.
Hello, Roger. How are you doing?
So, anyway, I'm going to ask, first of all, I was going to ask Millie to introduce himself first, but I'll ask Rob to introduce himself first.
Hiya, my name's Rob Lane. I'm a bass player of sorts with the likes of Teenage Casket Company, Bullet Boys, Let Loose, and most recently, Ryan Hamilton and the Harlequin Ghosts.
Thank you very much. And we'll ask Tone to introduce himself, and then if Millie's not back, we'll ask Tone to introduce Millie.
All right there. I'm Millie Evans. I'm like, really, I just want to be Tony Wright, but I'm struggling to get that kind of skill set in my fingers and like in my brain. But one day I'll be Tony Wright. But for now, I've just got to settle for being Millie Evans.
Thank you very much, Millie. Now, Tony, can you introduce yourself?
Hi there. I'm the guy that Millie always wanted to be. I'm Tony Wright from television, from Like a Dog, and from Tony Wright, and I'm an inspiration to Millie Evans.
So good.
And I'm Millie. Tony's already introduced yourself, but I suppose I'll give you a minute to introduce yourself in your style. So off you go.
I'll tell you what's about me is I've got this mate called Tony Wright, and he's the bane of my life. Constantly at me. As I got my nose, I don't know why as I got my eye nose because he's so proud of his nose. He seems to have underlined it with a big thick moustache these days. And I was helping him decorate the skirting board the other day, and he needed step ladders, and I could reach fine. So there you go.
Thank you very much.
I've just had to dig at him. I don't even know what he was saying. He might be saying something nice. He was completely locked out.
I was. I didn't mention all the fact I've been here for the last 2 hours scratching out paint off the bit I didn't want you to do.
How dare you? You come round and do me a favour.
Hey, was witnesses. I can show everybody now. You don't want that, do you? Not in front of the world.
Here, listen. I've been in studio. I've had to redo your vocals. They were so far out of tune. They're almost back in again.
I think you'll find they weren't my vocals. They were Dave Draper's.
Just before we go on with our first round, I'd just like to say greetings to all the people viewing and a special hello to the viewers who have already supported this show and my guests using the Buy Me a Coffee link, which, if I remember to do it tomorrow night, will be in the comments. You can go on to Buy Me a Coffee and buy all our guests a coffee, and I will distribute it evenly amongst the guests.
What you do is you send me all the cash and I'll get them the coffees.
Perfect. And so that's Buy Me a Coffee at Bloomfield Square. So, yeah, there's also a link for the merchandise in there. If you fancy a Blue Suede News T-shirt like I'm wearing, there's mugs, there's socks, there's face masks, you name it. You can have a Blue Suede News, whatever you want. Let's get the first round underway.
What's the story? Morning Glory.
Now, during this week, I've got to say, this week's been a really good week for small news stories, but there weren't any really big news stories until I saw one that made my blood boil a little bit. So I'll reveal what the story of the week's going to be. It's Test and Trace, brought to us by Baroness Dido Harding. So this Test and Trace over 2 years is going to cost 37 billion. Okay. In a report released today, it said fewer than 1 in 5 people request a COVID-19 test if they have symptoms, while the number who follow full self-isolation rules is low. So this is a large study that they've done. And experts say these findings suggest the impact of the NHS test and trace system was limited. The system that cost 37 billion. Let's go across to our guests, see if they have any views on this. So who'd like to go first?
I'd just like to say 37 billion, right? When people say 30 billion, 37 billion, let's not forget that's 37,000 millions, right? That's how much it's cost, right? Which is, when you say a billion, it like cheapens it a little bit. 37,000 million. That's like, just off the top of my head, like £569.32 each for everybody in this country. I'd have had the cash. They could have given me the cash, and I'd have just told them where I was. Give me £569.32. Give us a ring. I'll see you. I'm in Junction pub on corner.
Yeah, could do that, or you say, "I'll give you the key. I'll give you the key. You can lock me in my own house.
Yeah.
Unlock me when it's all safe."
Yeah,
That's
come
crazy.
and unlock me. That's stupid money.
To give you an idea how much 37 billion is, right? It does say, when I read this report, it does say it's over 2 years, right? So they're budgeting.
Change, pocket change.
They're budgeting about. I make it to be about £8.5 billion a year. In 1920, the cost of running the whole police service was 18.5 million. So NHS Test and Trace, 2019/20 financial year.
Oh, so
which would
you
have
said
been
1920.
No, not 1920, the
1920.
year. 2019/20. So,
right.
So NHS Test and Trace, a new system set up by private companies and that kind of thing, is costing the same as the whole police service.
Well, they had to put NHS on it for people to take it seriously, and it wasn't actually NHS Test and Trace, was it? They just had to add that bit onto it. So we try and take it seriously because we don't trust anything that they do. I'd say they. I'm doing inverted commas again. I've just learned what I don't know what it. I don't know what it means. I just think like doing it.
I don't know, but you know what they say.
Yeah.
Are they the same thing?
Yeah. Anyway, I don't care what you say about Dido. I prefer the first album in a collaboration with Eminem. I think she's gone downhill there, trying to rob us all of his money.
Yeah, she don't look as good as she used to look, does she? Anyway,
I actually thought Didos were extinct.
So I actually thought it was somewhere, something you got from Ann Summers.
Oh, yeah, steady on, Rog. Keep it clean.
Oh,
the watershed.
You're thinking of Negligee.
Oh.
Negligee Harding, her sister.
So, anyway, do any of you... So, NHS Test and Trace, 37 billion. Do any of you know how much it would cost to pay all the nurses in this country 1% more?
Oh, I knew this. Gosh, I should pay attention more often.
Are you talking nurses that still work for the NHS this week?
Yes.
1% more.
Yeah.
It cost us 90 million.
Oh, it's less than that, isn't it?
It's more than 90 million.
Is it?
It's less than 1 billion. So
It's
I
less
did
than
some
1 billion.
sums earlier, and based on 1 year old information, I was getting about £500 million.
I'm going to be a nurse. 500 million quid.
No, that's 1% for all the nurses.
1% 500 million quid.
Tony, if
I'm
you were
gonna
a
be
nurse, no one would be clapping you. You'd only get one. You just get a clap.
Yeah, but there'd be less of you lot as well, wouldn't there?
So the government
More for me.
are refusing to pay the nurses that additional 1%, which came up in the pay review, right? And even though they're saying they've done a wonderful job during COVID, they've supported the NHS and everything like that, but they don't deserve the pay rise what their pay award body said they should get. And they're saving £1 billion, yet they're spending 37 billion on NHS test and trace.
Of course they are. It's jobs for the boys, isn't it?
I'd love to see the
my blood
breakdown
boil.
of the billions. If they could give like a spreadsheet of roughly where everything went, that'd be interesting.
Well, they know they've spent on coronavirus, right, over the last 2 years, whatever it is, not last year. They've spent, is it 840 billion, right, fighting it on all the different things. And apparently the wealth of the top 1% in this country's wealth has gone up by exactly the same amount.
Is that true or another Tony True story?
I don't care if it's true. It's wrong. It's
the
wrong.
rich have got richer. The rich have
They
got
have got
richer.
richer. I think I've got a feeling in my bones. Let's put it that way. And they don't usually lie.
You don't care if it's true. Facts. You can prove anything with facts, can't you, Tony?
You can, can't you?
Well, tell you what. Talking about facts, shall we move on to our second round of the evening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Faking it.
This is our faking it round, where I'm going to give each of my guests a story. And all they have to do is tell me whether it's a real story or whether it's a fake story. So, simple as that, fact or fake. I've got 3 stories, one for each of you. So, I'm just deciding who I should come to first. I think I'll go to Tony first with the first story. And
is it April the 1st? Is it April the 1st? Is it April Fool's Day?
No, we're past lunchtime, so it's not an April Fool's joke.
Did you know that the government got their pay rise today? The government got their pay rise today on April Fool's Day, yeah?
Fair enough.
Well, there you go. I don't care if that's true either. Disgusting.
So let's go to the first story, which will be for Tony. Here's the picture for it. Bunny axing Easter. A man dressed as an Easter bunny has been attacking people with an axe in Washington, D.C. There have been 3 reported incidents in the last week, the first 2 in Montrose Park and the third one in Marvin Gaye Park and Garden. Robert J. Canty III, the chief of police, has said they have increased patrols in an attempt to catch the perpetrator.
Horrific. Right, is that? Oh, I've got to guess if it's true, isn't it? I was going to say, is that true? Well, do you know what? All probabilities are it's true. Add up the evidence. It's in America. it's Easter, and people do dress up as rabbits and carry axes. So I mean, it's a risk to take, isn't it? Because you might get shot. Whereabouts?
I was going to say, there's no guns involved, is there?
Yeah.
No. In America, pulling an axe out dressed as a rabbit, chances are
you're safer.
You could get shot.
No chance that you'd be safer.
Well, there's that YouTube guy that's just got shot, and he was going into like the neighborhoods and like scaring people with a fake knife or something, and the guy just shot him. So and he didn't get done for it because that's all he did for his YouTube channel. Him and another guy who held a book in front of him and told his girlfriend to shoot because he believed the book could stop the bullet. He got killed on YouTube as well. Well,
I remember that one, yeah.
So
anyway,
back to this one. Is the rabbit wielding axe wielding rabbit in whereabouts in America is it?
Washington, D.C.
Yeah, Washington, D.C. I think it's true, and I think when they catch him, you'll find out. I think it's going to be Donald Trump Jr.
Okay, shall we see whether you're right or not? I made that one up earlier today.
It was actually
You went into some detail.
Well,
I'm learning. I'm learning a lot.
Won't you feel bad now when I tell you that I actually know it was true because I've read about it today?
I'll feel bad if I turn the news on tomorrow and someone's been going around murdering people with an axe in Washington, D.C. dressed as a rabbit.
Yeah.
There's actually, it's roughly based on an old urban legend. That there was a legend about this rabbit, man dressed as a rabbit with an axe going around murdering people in America, that there was no actual evidence that this ever happened. So
I think there's a film in there, Roger.
What, Donnie Darko?
No, I think there is an actual film about a slasher in a rabbit costume at some point.
Right. But anyway, I made it up. The parks I used are real parks in Washington, D.C.
Yeah,
so,
and the story is based on a fact that isn't true. So let's say we're both right. Yeah, let's just say we're both right, Roger.
Okay.
Neither of us can prove the other one wrong. Quits.
I'm going to go to Rob next for this next story.
Bring it on.
Okay. Spongy roads from Wuhan for Slough. Slough is set to gain a new claim to fame as will get the Chinese sponge city treatment. The flood defense system sees selected roads transformed with permeable surfaces that soak up surface water.
Now, you know, when you started that, I thought it was going to be some safety thing for people jumping out of buildings.
How squashy do you want them?
That had like a high rate of suicide or something like that. So I seem to remember seeing like soft paving stones somewhere. I have no idea where I've seen it from. And where's this at?
Children's playground.
This is in Slough.
That's it. That's where I know.
This is in Slough, but
okay.
The spongy roads were first developed in Wuhan in China, which is more famous for something involving a bat. I can't quite remember what.
But it's to soak up, to help flooding and stuff like that. Is Slough subject to lots of rain? Well, the whole frigging UK is, to be honest. But I'm going to say that's true. But Millie's brought it to my attention that for some reason I knew where I was getting soft paving stones from, and it's like kids' playgrounds and stuff like that. Whether they not that hang around kids' playgrounds or anything, but I think we had them. They were just I was in dodgy territory there. I think
not digging,
not since the injunction anyway.
We used to be tough when we were young. When they didn't used to have bouncy playgrounds.
Yeah, let's talk. Do you ever have one of those horses? They were like lethal. They was. You remember those?
Yeah, they were well cool. Yeah.
Oh,
it's a death trap.
Get your fingers caught in them things.
Policeman helmets were quite bad. They were those big sort of conical roundabout things.
Yeah. Let's just leave it there, shall we?
Now I'm going to say this one's true.
You're going to say it's true.
Yeah.
Shall we see whether you're right or not? It is true. It is one of the 25 innovative, that's another word I can't say, innovative new environmental projects around England to be backed with government cash.
So how does this thing work? It soaks up the water, but how much is that
Yeah,
gonna slow it down?
It's a matter of at the moment the roads don't let the water through. It all flows in certain directions and accumulates. Whereas this, it'll actually soak through the road into the surface like fields used to do before we built on them all. And that's why you won't get as much flooding.
Gotcha.
But Rog, in there's something that they've invented before then, and I think I'm pronouncing this right, called drains.
Yeah, and wasn't there a naturals thing that we used? What were it called? Turf or grass or something like that.
Yeah. This replaces grass.
Oh,
So,
but you can't smoke it though.
So
it's slough. I'd give out a go.
anyway, that's Slough for you. Slough is going to get spongy pavements and roads.
Yeah.
So, do you remember those Soft Mint adverts when you were younger, with Mr. Soft walking along the street? Well, I wonder if it's going to be a bit like that.
Yeah. Mr. Soft.
It is Slough. It's just someone banging their heads against lampposts. Let's be fair.
So, anyway, so this leaves the final story for Millie. Satanic shoes with real human blood in their soles. Brooklyn Art Collective, MSCHF, have customized 666 pairs of Nike trainers, each one containing a drop of real human blood.
Totally stole the idea from Kiss.
Yeah. You see, Roger, I don't know where you're going with this, but it sounds so crazy. It could be just true, but I think the bit. Where is this? All over the world or just in America?
It's Brooklyn. They've put on Monday. They put 666 pairs of these shoes on sale at a price of $1,018 per pair.
And has the blood come all from one particular source?
No, the blood is from various volunteers.
Oh, you see, you answered that pretty well. See if I can catch him out on something else. Is it all the same type of blood? Or does it not say that?
I'd assume it's not, because people have different blood types. You have A type, B type.
Yeah. Right. It's so crazy. I'm going to go with fact.
You're going with fact, are you, Millie?
Yeah, I am.
You're confident with that one?
If I'm wrong, it'll boil my blood, Roger. That's for sure. I tell you.
Let's see whether you're right or not.
Yay!
It is correct.
Yeah.
Now,
I knew that. I knew that's Lil Nas, in it. And he put it's red ink and a drop of his blood in every one.
It's not just his blood. There's several people who've donated a drop of their blood.
And they sold out in less than a minute.
Yeah.
Good grief.
So now, what gets me? I mean, these are over $1,000 each. Nike is suing MSCF, CHF. It's a whole book. MSCHF Nike are suing them because they don't like them putting blood in their shoes. So what they don't realise is that you could do this a lot cheaper by going down to Sports Direct, getting a pair of Lonsdales, and going to your local city centre when it opens back up for a full night out drinking.
Or pushing queue in front of Primark or something. That'll cause a bit of bloodshed.
Oh, that's if you want one of those authentic T-shirts with a drop of blood on it. So that's the end of Faking It, and it's guest 2, me 1.
Oof.
So not a fantastic result, but let's move on to your choices for Prat of the Week.
Prat of the Week.
So in this round, each of my guests have selected a Prat of the Week. They will justify the Prat of the Week in 45 seconds, I will listen to their justification, and at the end of the 3 nominations, I will choose who the Rogers Blue Suede News Prat of the Week is. I don't give points out on this show because points on this show means sod all. Okay. And just before I start the round, can I just say, if you're watching on YouTube and you're enjoying the show, please hit like and subscribe. And if you're watching on Facebook, please hit like and follow. So thank you very much. And you can follow the links from the video itself. So who's going to be the first Prat of the Week? Shall we find out? It's Boris, and this has been nominated by Tony Wright. Just before I said Tony off on his 45 seconds, I realised as I was animating this, the freezer was a Logic one. So I've put above the name Logic the words lack of. So, anyway, Tony, your 45 seconds to justify why Boris should be the Prat of the Week starts now.
Well, I see you've put him into a fridge because he's famous for hiding in the winter. But I also happen to know that didn't Chris Whitty buy all the fridges in the world for getting the virus over? But he didn't consider maybe using all the ice cream vans that can't be used at the moment as mobile vaccines. You could just put the Popeye music on, pulled up, run down road, stood in a queue, had your jab and run back and had sprinkles on it. But that's not to do with Boris. To me, Boris is Prat of the Week because this week it just doesn't stop lying, and it's just doing my head in now to the point where I can't even remember. It's like all them lies might equal one massive truth. It's proper mental. So he was asked about his Stormy Daniels moment.
You can finish your sentence if you want.
No, if you're going to be like that about it.
So it's odd you should mention Boris lying because I did generate a little video a short time ago on that subject.
Benjamin Disraeli once said that there are 3 kinds of lies: lies, damned lies, and statistics. But he was wrong. There are 4. Lies, damned lies, statistics, and Boris Johnson.
There you go. That was my little attempt at doing that.
I wish he was a lie. I wish he was a lie, and then tomorrow everyone just went, no, he never existed. It were all just made up while we locked you in your house for a year and told you that's what we're going on outside. We hacked into your radio, pretended to be various DJs and kept telling you, oh, the virus is getting really bad. And we've got this guy called Boris as Prime Minister. Hacked into my Twitter account so you could make it look like he was. I'm going to come out of my house at the end of this, and he's going to be a lie. Sad fact is, it's the truth.
It's not just Boris. It's all the government ministers. They use the same script, and I've listened to it so much. I reckon I can answer any question like a government minister. So, ask me a question as if I'm one of the government ministers about one of the things, difficult things the government are doing at the moment.
As if you're a government minister?
Yeah.
All right. Did you
what were you doing? What were you doing in those public lavatories in the park at 3:30 in the morning?
Well, I'd absolutely love to answer that question. But first of all, I'd like to state that how important public lavatories are and how the government supports those people who keep them clean and make sure they're available for the public in general. Public lavatories are so good, and it's a big team effort. It's a big team effort between the lavatory cleaners, the local councils, and the government who put the money into them. And that's how they answer every question.
Well done, Roger the Dodger.
Anyone else want to ask me another question?
Did you say Dodger or Dogger?
Oh.
Anyone else for a question?
Did you have relationships with that woman?
it's interesting. You should ask us that. Relationships with women is something that should be supported, but also, if it's not with a woman, the LGBT community should be supported. And we're a very open government here, and we support everyone like that.
Can't
It's
say
gotta
like that. Like that.
But that's the way the government ministers answer questions at the moment. They don't actually answer the question. They say how wonderful things are.
If I said to you, one of these ministers always lies and the other one never tells the truth, which one would you ask?
I won't trust
There
either
were
of them.
two doors. That's it.
Yeah, no, one of the doors has got certain death behind it, and one of the doors haven't. And you ask the minister,
Yeah.
if I asked the other one, what would he answer? Would he tell me to go through your door?
If you paid him.
It's the same answer, isn't it? For each word?
Yeah. So anyway, so that's your Pratt of the Week, Boris Johnson. Thank you for the justification. Let's move on to see who else we've got on Pratt of the Week. Well, what's happening here? It's two people look like they're in Spain. Oh, and there's a Spanish police officer. Oh, and they're kicking them out. They're kicking them out of Spain for being illegal immigrants. This person is actually Sean Cromer, as nominated by Rob Lane. Rob, your 45 seconds starts now.
Well, we all know what a clusterfuck the old Brexit turned into over the last few years. I think everybody has got so confused with it down the line. But I think at one point people could argue both sides of it if they was into it that much. But this one guy who actually lives in Spain actually voted to leave the EU, and now he's finding out that he can't stay there anymore, which to me sounds crazy. I think whatever your views on Brexit were, I think if I was living in Spain, I think I might vote to stay in the EU. But this guy voted to leave, and now he's finding that his application has been rejected to stay as a resident, and now he's got to come home. And his actual quote is, what was it? If I'm honest, I'm not too happy at the prospect of returning to the UK. Dope.
Oh my gosh. They should have voted for the EU to leave the UK.
Yeah.
So apparently his wife is in tears.
Tier 3.
Probably.
Tier 2 or Tier 3.
Yeah, I understand he'd been living in Spain for about 5 years, but
really
he didn't get his paperwork.
Oh, he'll have been fluent in whatever language he set off with then, won't he?
Yeah, they've been fluent.
Because like when you're in, yeah, I do speak Spanish. Like, could you tell me where the shop is, please? How do you say that in Spain? Could you tell me where the shop is? Por favor.
So
yeah, they're gonna miss him. They're gonna miss him. I think we should get Farage. We should get Farage to stand up fucking tops at cliffs at Dover, and as soon as they see him and his freaking wife coming over in boat, he should start moaning about it and filming him. Saying, look at him coming over here in a bloody in a giraffe bloody roundabout dinghy thing, paddling with shovels from the beach. Look at him, illegal immigrants. So they are illegal immigrants, aren't they?
They'll be bringing all the food back, which they'll be emptying all the fridges and bringing the food back. They'll still have all the digestives, which they brought from the brought from the UK shop in Spain.
Digestives and Weetabix.
And ketchup. Oh, you can't. If you're coming over, bring us a bottle of ketchup. Won't you? You can't get it out here for loving the money. Proper ice ketchup. Oh.
And don't forget the toilet rolls.
Yeah. And then the top. I won't care, but they top it up with cheap stuff anyway. They just want the bottle that says 8p on it. Heinz, whatever. I was reading hacks about sauce the other day. You know, on these new squeezy bottles, there's a number on the Heinz tomato sauce. And if you hold the sauce upside down and squeeze that number exactly right, you get all the sauce out. That's why it's there.
That's a fact. I know that's a fact. I read that as well.
Yeah, life hacks. Life hacks and Tic Tacs.
I don't believe it.
Not on to our false round anymore, Millie. Keep with motion.
Facts, smacks.
Anyway, believe it or not, we've got one more Pratt of the Week to go. And this is Millie's choice.
Oh, this is Millie.
So what have we here? We've got a park with some trees. Oh, we've got some sun. Oh, it's brought the masses out. So this is Millie's nomination for the British weather. Off you go.
Go. Right, the Great British Weather. We don't really have weather, do we? Just have 4 seasons, generally one day, as the song goes. You see, what with our country, we can't seem to cope with any kind of extreme climate. You have a smattering of snow or some, I don't know, leaves on the track and all the traffic comes to a halt. And then you get one warm day in March and it usually brings out the right-wing bloody skinhead guys with the knotted handkerchiefs kicking off with the Carlsberg. And now it seems to bring out every single millennial now that seem to join in and think it's absolutely fine to gather in their masses because they're immune to COVID and they can leave a stream of destruction and rubbish in our lovely hillsides and our lovely reserves in their unwoke wake of idioticness.
Now,
I am not, but
yeah,
this is
one.
Timing, Millie. I've never heard anyone accused of. I've never heard anyone say good timing to you, but good timing that one.
How dare you.
So, I mean, I've got to say, it makes my blood boil when you see the amount of litter these idiots are leaving behind. They'd be the first if they went to a park. They went to a park and there was litter all over the place. They'd be the first to say, "Well, I'm not stopping here. It's awful." Right?
They don't leave litter. The millennials, they don't do anything to harm the planet. That's us. How dare we? Do you remember that speech? How dare you? That's us. We're the ones that are like ruining the planet, not them.
Oh, so they're not chucking them in the bins because that's bad.
No, it's just when they get together, all the old people litter goes towards them.
Oh right. Oh, well, so it's not their fault.
Nothing's their fault. I thought you knew that.
Yeah, that's it. Nothing's their fault. It's everybody else's fault. It's the people before them that went before them who invented the litter. Yeah. It's their fault for inventing the litter.
Yeah.
Now, I've got to say, I mean, one thing I've got to say, which will sound slightly supportive of these millennials, is that it's a nice hot summer's day. All the pubs are closed. All the shops are closed. All the bowling alleys are closed. There's nowhere to go. So you go to the local park, which where else can they go?
Yeah, well, they shouldn't be going anywhere.
I'm sure if they was confronted, they'd have said there'd have been, we're all in our groups of 6. There's just about 2,000 groups of 6 all in one park.
Yeah, exactly. And biggest bubble of people you've ever seen.
Yeah. So
it's like bubble wrap. It's like bubble wrap. It's not really just one bubble. It's like a whole sheet of bubble wrap.
It's frustration of being stuck inside all the time and not being able to have fun.
Do you know what? I get it. And do you know what? If I was like 19, 20, I don't think I'd have been able to cope, not just going out and partying all the time. I would have been at every illegal rave there was going. I'd have gone to all my mates' houses. I would have broken all the rules and just stayed away from old people. They haven't got a problem with that.
Yeah, but Tom,
I mean, we spray ourselves with this. We spray ourselves with the scent. Go on.
The rappers that you drug scamming, at least you put those in the bin, though. It's the rubbish that's causing the trouble. It's the rubbish. Leaving it everywhere.
It is.
Put it in the bin.
When you were young, you stepped onto a bus for 10 years, didn't you? And never got off. And went to every part of it was.
Left his brain on there.
Yeah, I think it is. I got off the bus and thought, brain, and I haven't been able to find what bus it was since. That's why I keep wandering around on the ring road, Ooh, wonder if it's the back of this bus. No, never mind. It's a nice view.
Have you ever got onto the wrong tour bus after a gig?
I've got into the wrong car.
Oh, I know you've done that.
The wrong car, don't I? Got into a car with a fella eating a sandwich. Scared the living bejesus out of him. So, all right.
Oh dear.
Well, he shouldn't have had the same colour car, should he?
You can't take Tony anywhere.
I just said, "Have you got my brain?" He went.
I fell asleep on the wrong tour bus once, and luckily they weren't moving, so I woke up and I was still in the same destination.
Well, that's all right then.
Well, it could have been bad if the buses were going in opposite directions, I think.
Yeah. That was back in days when you were a groupie, wasn't it, Millie?
I meant to get an aero.
Fell asleep.
I got on
Fell
face no
asleep.
more,
Yeah. Oh, I slept for days.
So, anyway, so I've got 3 Prats of the week to adjudge. I've got Boris Johnson. I've got whoever the guy is who voted leave and then is complaining about being an illegal immigrant in Spain. And I've got the British weather. It's quite a difficult choice, this. I'm tempted to go, and I'll just go back and find the guy's name. I'm tempted to go for Sean Cromer. He is a prat, voting leave and then complaining about it afterwards.
Yes, I did it.
Yeah.
I said I was tempted to go for, and I think he would be my choice, other than Tony's picked Boris. Right?
I'm willing to go for the fella who Boris sold his story to.
So what I'm going to do this week, I'm going to do 2 actual choices. I'm going to move Boris onto status of Rogers Blue Suede News Prat. That means he is now designated a Blue Suede News Prat and can't be picked for Prat of the Week again because he's a Prat. Okay? He joins Nigel Farage and Piers Morgan in this status. It's a very select club. So, Tony, you've chosen one of the Rogers Blue Suede News honorary Prats who will be a Prat forever. Well done.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt of that.
Okay?
I don't think I want to be at that dinner party anyway with them 3. I don't know what that'd be like.
So, but for normal Prat of the Week, I'm choosing Sean Cromer because I think he's a real Prat. I'm not going to choose British weather because the British weather keeps you on your toes. We are going to have 4 seasons in one weekend this bank holiday.
None taken, Roger, none taken.
So, the weather's great at times and bad at other times.
Well,
so.
it's more to do with the effect it has on people moaning about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but if you pick masses of people being affected by the sun, then that band's been better.
Yeah, but I can't. That's not one Prat of the week. That'll be Prats of the week, and there's far too many of them to count. Where do you start and where do you stop?
So, anyway, so that's the end of the Prat of the Week round. So, hope you agree with my choices. For anyone who's watching, if you want to comment along and say who you'd have chosen for your Prat of the Week, please put a comment in there, and we'll see what the viewers choose. So, but now we're moving on to the next part of the show, which is this one.
The good, the bad, and the utterly stupid.
So
Careful,
I like the
Tony,
pose you've
fall
stroking, Tony. Has he frozen again now?
He might have frozen. Good. We'll all be able to get a word in edgeways for a minute.
Oh, he's gone. I'm sure he'll be back
He'll be
shortly.
back. He'll be back.
So, anyway, the good, the bad, and the utterly stupid is the round where we discuss other stories from the week. I've got several pre-selected stories, and we'll just run through those and see if my guests want to discuss anything else. So, the first story I have for you is a typical Easter story.
Look at that.
Which is giant chocolate helicopter. A chocolatier has revealed his latest cocoa creation, a giant helicopter honouring air ambulance workers. Jan Hansen's whopper of a chopper weighs in at 100 kilograms and measures 7 foot. This was from the BBC News article, I'll have you know. It's not written by me. So, Mr. Hanson is based in Folkingham in Lincolnshire and hopes to raise money for the local air ambulance charity. So, does anyone want to comment on Mr. Hanson's copter?
Look, my first comment would be I don't like the size of the helicopter to propeller blades ratio. I don't think that's going to do right well if it takes off anywhere. Look at it.
It looks like it's got one of them little hats on with propellers rather than an actual helicopter one.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, if you're going to do some attention to detail, please, you know?
Yeah, I'm not sure the pilot will be able to see where he's going either.
I know. Yeah. I've got chocolate on the windscreen.
I'm more impressed by the guy's eyebrows, though. Like Larry Agman's eyebrows. They're fantastic.
I've got to get close here. I can't see. What's up with me?
Look at them bad boys.
Oh, yeah, brilliant.
It's healing.
So, now...
So, didn't he have has he got like a frame inside that thing or something? Because it's on like some... I don't know.
You see videos on... why is that doing that? You see videos on YouTube of them creating these large chocolate structures. And normally they look really, really good. And I've got to say, this helicopter looks naff. I reckon I could have done it smoother.
It's like a mud up or something like that, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? It's like if my daughter's thought if she drew a helicopter, it'd probably look a bit like that.
But I'm going to restrain myself from really going to town on it because he is raising money for the air.
It's a good cause.
Yeah. Now we feel bad, don't we? We forgot about that bit.
Do you like chocolate helicopters, Tony?
He's more of a chocolate starfish kind of man.
Oh, we can't hear you, Tony. And you're not muted on here. Oh, you're muted now. Hang on,
Can
just
you hear me now?
Give me a second.
He's coming back in. Don't bring him back in. He was better as he was.
No, is your mic plugged in?
Just do sign language tone. No, that kind. Bad ratio.
Oh.
Hello?
I heard a click then.
I heard a click.
Hello?
Yeah,
we have voice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something you've done then, isn't it?
No. What's this? Is waggling the cable then blaming me? I'm miles away.
I can't see how my headphones. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me? Oh, what are you going on about then? If you can hear me.
What a dick.
So, have you got any views on chocolate helicopters?
Oh no!
I'm taking Ricky there. Do I have any views on chocolate helicopters?
Yeah.
Do you know what? No, I don't. It's a stupid thing to do, and it could have I don't know. Why do that? He never started making a chocolate helicopter. He just thought, oh God, what have I done? And put them bits of cardboard on top of it and said, oh, it's an helicopter. I bet, do you know what I mean? It looks as much like the TARDIS as it does an helicopter. He's just told us it's an helicopter. But yeah, imagine being picked up in that after you've had if you've got, last thing you need, isn't it? Sugar rush.
Yeah.
I imagine his kitchen's so big he just dropped a Malteser and it snowballed and got chocolate and it got that big. He thought, what can I do with this? Well, I know, some cardboard. I'll make it into a helicopter.
Yeah, you're right. It started as a Malteser that he rolled in chocolate round his garden, so they got bigger and bigger. Anyway, no, it's a ridiculous idea. I hope he raises some money, but he could have probably just saved the money on the chocolate and given him it.
Yeah, what are they going to
So,
do with it? What do you do with that? It's all been like, you can't eat it.
Well, imagine we've been wanting to raise money. Is he going to break it up and sell it in pieces and the money goes to the air ambulance? I don't know.
Looks like he's like
I
molded
don't-
it with his hands and stuff like that.
Yes,
I reckon we'll
mucky
crack it
fingerprints
up.
in it.
There'll be a body in it.
So, anyway, moving on. The next story is the national minimum wage increase. From the 1st of April, the national minimum wage increased for over 25s from £8.72p an hour to £8.91p an hour. So this was announced by the Chancellor, and it's actually, as you can see, a 2.2% wage rise for over 25 people who don't work for the government.
So it's not
So,
for nurses then?
No, nurses earn above the national living wage and therefore don't get their increase.
Ooh. Well, yeah, it's going to be more expensive to live in it, so people are going to need
Yeah.
more money to live on. I'd rather those people had it than Amazon or Rees-Mogg or Serco or somebody, or Dido Harding, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, let's get it spent before they have it all off of us.
Yeah. The issue which I have with the national minimum wage is that they move more and more people into the tax bracket by increasing the national minimum wage. So they pay more tax and national insurance. Or they don't. The companies who employ them do.
Fly beggars.
Yeah, they do, but then all they do is force you to work and earn even more money till eventually then you have to pay anything once you earn so much money. Once you're so rich,
Yeah.
then you find all the loopholes. I'm
Yeah.
just looking at this, Tone. If you're paying me per song when I play with you, I want an increase now.
You're classed as an apprentice. You're learning from me, Millie, has no value. I mean, has no price.
I'm
I'm unlearning. I'm going backwards.
Yeah, I'm not sure if these kind of rules apply to artists because, according to the government, artists don't actually have any income or anything like that, and therefore they don't have to pay them money during COVID situations.
Exactly.
So, anyway, so that's the national minimum wage increase from the 1st of April, and I've only really got one more story that I pre-selected, and this one is that the posh toffs from Oxford and Cambridge will not be racing along the Thames this year. They're going to be racing along the Great Ouse in Cambridgeshire, which is a very, very straight bit of river. So they won't be going around corners.
Why has it been moved? Do you know?
It's so stop people from watching it.
All right.
Because they ran it on the Thames. People
they really
wouldn't
need to
try
do
and watch
that?
it.
Yeah. Tell him it's golf.
Yeah. Now, what gets me is they do this each year. It's just two universities. It's not very inclusive, is it? You know, it's not like they're having a big contest where all the universities row and then the top two race. It's just Oxford and Cambridge each year.
You know why, Roger, don't you? Because Barnsley Tech had whipped their asses at this kind of thing.
Yeah,
they would probably drill holes in their boat beforehand and that kind of thing. Barnsley Tech would.
The renowned rowers.
They'd lead them onto the trolleys beneath the water and scupper their boats.
Yeah.
You're right there, Miller. It's because they're scared of like normal unis and colleges.
Yeah. Scared
especially
of Huddersfield Poly.
Yeah. Wussies. Yeah.
So, but I reckon they could make this a lot more exciting this year. All they have to do is invite other boats to take part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would work.
but Barnsley Tech on end of oars, they'd have like knives and blooming and like sharp blades like in Ben Hur or something. So they'd like come up beside them and then put an hole in their boat. It'd be better tactics. Yeah. I think I'd watch it.
I would.
So, pugilism. I'm off and stuff.
So
my battery's dying on me. The phone.
Well, we're not far off finishing. Do you think you'll have 5 minutes more, or
We'll see.
this could be exciting?
Cliffhanger, guys. Cliffhanger.
Let's move on to the
Couch.
next round.
I predict a riot!
This is where my guests will give me a prediction about something that's going to happen in the next 12 months. So who shall I go to first for a prediction?
Oh, blimey. Don't come
Let's
to me
go to
first, 'cause I'm
Tony.
just thinking.
I can't predict hope. I don't know, because we'll have to wait and see what they tell us we can do before we can decide what can happen. I think they'll just keep getting away with it. As you can't predict anything in this day and age. I'm sorry, I have no predictions. I think that predictions are going to be the thing of the past. See what I did?
I think that sums everything up.
Very profound.
It was.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Thanks. I don't like this anti-mount.
How we prove he's right or not by the end of 2021, I don't know, but
Well, see if you're predicting out next year.
let's see if Rob can predict anything.
Oh, man. I can't think of anything for this one, Roger. I'm stumped on this one, and my brain's fried on it. What will happen by the end of the year?
Yeah.
Chocolate helicopters will fly. That's all I got.
I predict they'll realise that they need to make bigger propellers for the chocolate helicopters, and then they'll fly. But they'll fly too close to the sun and then melt, and then it's all gone wrong.
Yeah.
Icarus helicopter.
Yeah, someone will figure out how to fly one.
Millie.
Helicopters.
I'll tell you what I predict, Roger. There'll be a mass protesting against protests by the end of the year. People will be
happening already.
They'll be protesting so much they'll forget what they're protesting against. What are you here for? What do we want? We don't know. When do we want it? Now.
So I predict quietly.
I predict
they were doing it.
Protest.
There's footage of them marching, shouting, "We want change," and it's like, is that like a massive begging thing that they're doing?
Yeah,
we want change, or what do you want to change? Because you need to change everything, really, don't we? But it's all. It is what it is, as they say in Bradford.
The thing is, a lot of these people that want change haven't even changed their underpants that week, so I don't know. That's when the change should start at home.
So,
with the socks and underwear.
Well, that's the I predict a ride out the way. So there's only one thing to bring on, and that's the final round of the show.
Put a plug in it.
And this is where I thank my guests for being superb guests on this Easter special show. It's been extra special having you all on here. So
thank you for having us, sir.
Yeah,
and each of you,
Cheers, Roger.
I'm gonna invite each of you to plug whatever you want to plug. So, is there anything you want to plug, Tony, other than plug your phone in?
I need to plug my phone in, indeed.
It's been running.
Me and Millie have got some secret stuff that we're gonna keep people up to post with, haven't we, Millie? Recording an album and what, but it's not out yet, so you can't even pre-order it. We've got a television gig online, which is like for the whole world. When's that? Is that sort of end of May or something? I think that's doing that.
Something like the 22nd of May, is it? Let me check my diary.
Roger, you're more informed than we are. We don't know.
I saw an advert for it today. I just didn't see what date it was.
Yeah, Millie was pouncing on it.
I wasn't pouncing, I was cross. Just before he said cheese, the guy said cheese, I could smell Tony's fart, and that's what I was upset about.
Millie's face is just brilliant in that photo. Anyway, 22nd of May.
22nd of May. So doing that. You can. We're gonna.
How'd you get tickets, Tony?
It's all virtual. So I think
There's
have to go
a
with-
link. There's a link on the advert where if you click the link, you can sign up and they'll send you information.
There you go.
In other words, they're going to spam you.
We could put it here. Could we put it here? We'll put it
I
here.
can
The
put
link there.
I can put it. I can't put it there at the moment, but I can put it in the comments.
Comments.
You'll put it in the
I'll put
comments.
it in the
Where are the
comments.
comments coming?
There'll be.
Rob, you know which way you're going. I'm
probably
always going
below.
back to front.
They'll probably be below.
That's it.
I just did it twice. I went that way. Then anyway.
All right.
Oh,
Anyway.
my fingers go across there. Go on.
Rob, do you want to plug anything?
I'm just going to plug my podcast because that's all I'm doing. It's all consuming far too much work than what I actually
Okay.
realised it would be. And I
So,
might get these
have
two
you-
on it at some point.
Yeah, you need to get Tony and Millie on it.
How do
You
we?
could
How do
put
we?
where you could put it across here so we know where his podcast
Yeah, well,
is.
Rob
Just-
can put his podcast in the links in the comments as well if he watches tomorrow
can.
night.
So you
So
can go straight to stvpod.com. Nice and easy.
Brilliant.
and don't forget your arcade frames as well.
Yes, arcadeframes.com as well for the perfect
So,
birthday gift.
With Lego minifigures in it. So, and Millie, do you want to plug anything, or has Tony
No,
done it all for you?
He's done it all for us. I always like to plug old things, me. So I only say this because I'm looking what's on my shelves. I'd like to,
He wasn't that old, Millie. He wasn't that old. He were only a few years older than you.
I'd like to plug this album here because that's got some great songs on it. I'm just helping Tony out here because although
Okay.
some brilliant musicianship on it, it's only got Tony's name on album cover. But for some reason, I've got some here, so I'd like to plug them because it's old money, and old money's as good as new money if you buy them. But other than that, Tony said we've got some exciting things coming up, including we're going to the studio. Is it next month or the month after? In it, Tony, a very exciting studio. I'm going to be stuck in Scotland, in a very, very remote part of Scotland with Tony. It's going to be scary.
Yeah. It's gonna
That
be
will
like,
be scary.
it's gonna be like Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah,
There'll be
you'll be
somebody's
okay as long as
broken
you don't
back, you
close
carry
the
on.
border while you're up there.
Wrecking more than borders.
So, anyway, I'm afraid that's it for tonight. So, thank you to my guests, Rob Lane, Millie Evans, and Tony Wright. Thank you very much. And we'll see you all next Friday at 9 o'clock. Good night.
Right.